Welcome to another edition of Ayo with D. Shelton. I am the host of the show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, Del Rico Shelton. Please like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D. Shelton on platforms such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. This program, as always, is sponsored by Rose Sweets LLC. That's Rose Sweets LLC, the best cake pops and cupcakes in the DMV area. You can reach them at row_sweets_LLC on Facebook and Instagram. You can also contact them at rowsweets@gmail.com. And as always, as you see by the opening montage, the studio and equipment, well, not equipment, excuse me, the studio and the capability to go through Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio is sponsored. Let me stop that. It's provided by Riverside.fm. How y'all feeling, peoples? Y'all straight? Y'all good? Y'all butter? Y'all smooth? I will admit, I'm kind of not. And excuse me while I'm trying to get some stuff together, move my cat Stratus out the way because she's hitting me and whatnot. As always, she's always in the studio with me being nosy. But we got a lot to talk about. This has been a hell of a week. Of course, there's going to be football because of my Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to try to sprinkle a little bit of Colorado football, primarily primetime Deion Sanders, and we got a lot of politics stuff to discuss on this episode. Hi, Commanders fans. Oh, excuse me. Washington Commanders. That sucky ass name. I already see in the little text messages and stuff that I'm already seeing. Y'all lost. Ha ha ha. Okay, let me get into it right now. My Dallas Cowboys lost to the Baltimore Ravens again. This time the score was 28-25. For the history that people don't know, the Dallas Cowboys has faced the Baltimore Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, 7 times now. Dallas has only beaten them 1 time. I was actually at the last game at Texas Stadium where the Baltimore Ravens just ran the football down the throats of the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason why I'm saying that montage and memory lane, because damn it, it happens again. The Baltimore Ravens, led by MVP Lamar Jackson, once again won 28-25 over my Dallas Cowboys. But there was some hope because Dallas actually made a comeback. The score was actually 28-6 entering the fourth quarter. But they gave the ball to Lamar, but it was two kind of plays on that last drive. First, the pass to Zay Flowers on Trey Diggs gave them the first down when it was like 3rd and 6. And then to ice the game, Zay Flowers come in motion like a jet sweep fake. Lamar takes up the gut, gets the first down. At that point, 2 kneel downs, game over. What I'm going to say is this, and I'm trying to collect the thoughts, right? I know y'all have heard me on podcasts and things before said, kids, please stop letting ESPN and Fox Sports 1, FS1, and even to a certain degree, if not a big degree of NFL Network, put the blame on Dak Prescott. There's been a pattern. I said there's been. There's been a pattern that I have seen actually for 4 years. 4. See, when you look at the 2 playoff losses to San Francisco 49ers, technically the Dallas defense did their job except when it counted. And if you go back to those two playoff losses to San Francisco, the run game and missed tackles lost them those games. They can say Dak Prescott all they want and bad play calling by Kellen Moore, because I still don't know what the heck that long draw was for. I still don't understand that one, but that I digress. The reason I'm getting into all of this is basically I said it last week. I said it week one. I said it last season. I've been saying this going on for about, I'm gonna be honest, 5 years now. Jerry Jones needs to get some fat dudes on the defensive line. Dallas is not built, the defense, I should say, is not built to be in a slugfest. They're not. They're not. They need some girth. They need a spine. I saw flashes of Michael Parsons today. He ran down Derrick Henry. He ran down Lamar Jackson. It looked like he was the one that was running, and he showed effort. Where's DeMarcus Lawrence? I haven't seen him yet in the past. Well, let me correct that. He showed up against Cleveland. But has he shown up, Cowboys fans and NFL pundits, the last two? Let me get into some stats for you. And I'm gonna say this. If y'all want to blame Dak Prescott for this game, just like last week, y'all tripping. The defense is the problem. And I'm gonna say something about also with Mike McCarthy in a sec. Here's what I'm saying. Lamar Jackson was 12 of 15 for 182 yards. His average completion was 12.1. He had one touchdown, no sacks whatsoever. His QB rating was 139.4. He only threw 15 times. Remember, if I recall, Derek Carr only threw for maybe 15 or 16 times last week. Derrick Henry, King Henry as they call him, 25 carries, 151 yards. He averaged 6 yards a pop. 2 touchdowns, the longest for 29 yards to score. Lamar Jackson, 14 rushes, 87 yards. 6.3 a clip. Justin Hill, 5 carries, 33 yards. 6.6 a clip. Zay Flowers had a little sweep for 3 yards, but that don't matter. The yardage total that the Baltimore Ravens ran for was 274 yards. Let me say that again. The Baltimore Ravens ran for 274 yards. They didn't have to throw the ball. Why? Why? Big gash in the middle, not sealing the edges. Man, I can't wait to look at the film on this joint. Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Remember last year when Dallas got blown out by San Francisco? What happened? Oh, not being disciplined, misdirection, not sealing the edge, getting pushed across the line. There was one play that it was just blatant. Baltimore did not score on the play. They were pretty much, I want to say they were on the 3-yard line of Dallas. Ironically, they scored basically the next play. But the whole defensive line was pushed into the end zone. You see what I'm getting at? Also, you could tell Dak Prescott missed Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson was, I will be honest, the key contributor to Dallas's comeback. Him and Dak, to be honest. But I'll get into Dak in a couple. Again, the team, the Baltimore Ravens, you knew they're going to run the ball. 274 yards. Now, let's get into the Dallas side of things when it comes to the offense. The offense, it had its moments until the fourth quarter. What I mean by had the moments, there were plays to be had, but then the penalty happens. A sack happens. Look, I understand Guyton is a rookie at left tackle, but if you constantly, young man, let someone just go inside of you, pause, they got a beeline to Dak. Dak was sacked 3 times. He fumbled once. That was the fumble was on Dak because he just completely lost the ball. But Dak Prescott was 28 for 51, 379 yards. Average completion was 7.4. Not bad. 2 touchdowns, no picks. Like I said, sacked 3 times. QB rating 91.9. Now, as Unc, aka Shannon Sharp, would say, those are a lot of empty calories. Not on this one. Unc can't say this one. No, because the comeback was happening. There's a difference. Now, Dallas missed 2-point conversions. Two 2-point conversions. You chasing the points. By math, you needed them, because it was at one point a 2-possession game. Just by basic math, you have to do it. You know what I mean? But Dallas has no running game whatsoever. Dallas only accumulated 51 total rushing yards. Now, some of that because they were down, but there's no balance. Rico Dowdell, 8 carries for 32 yards, 4 yards a clip. That ain't bad. Dak Prescott ran twice for 7. He's the second leading rusher for 3.5. Zeke had 3 carries for 6 yards. Deuce Vaughn had 2 carries for 5. And Turpin had 1 reverse that was for 1 yard. Here's what I'm going to say. Oh, let me get into the receiving stats real quick. Jake Ferguson, as I said, was a big catalyst. Welcome back, Jake. 6 catches, 95 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 4 catches for 67 yards and a crucial fumble in the first half. CeeDee didn't have it today. I don't know what the fuck CeeDee is on. This is where I'm going to blame Jerry Jones for this, because if you knew you were going to give CeeDee this money anyway, why wait to 10 days before the first game? He and Dak need to be in camp. That's your number one weapon. CeeDee sometimes, I will admit, most times he's on point when it comes to his route running. But if you can get hands on CeeDee, you're going to frustrate CeeDee. You're going to frustrate. That's what Baltimore did. Kevontae Turpin, 3 catches, 51 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Tolbert, 3 catches, 42 yards, touchdown. Here's what I'm going to say about, let me go back to CeeDee. I love CeeDee, the 88 Club. But there comes a time where you on the sidelines and you frustrated or whatever. The frustration's on you, bro. You got to figure out a way to get open when they putting clamps and hands on you and stuff. Yeah, the ref's going to let Baltimore get away with some stuff. But the fumble's on you, bro. At that point, if I remember correctly, it was 14-6. You had the first down. You fumbled. They popped it out. Pause. And then Baltimore goes down and scores. You see what I'm getting at? I love you, CeeDee. But at times, you do some stuff that makes me wonder where your head's at. And then you dropped a couple of passes. You got the ball. You didn't really get separation again because the Ravens are holding you. I get it. But a couple times Dak put the ball, if not in the perfect spot, because once again, people, a quarterback cannot put it perfect every freaking time. He can't. So what's up with you dropping the balls? Pause. Hmm? Now I found two things very, very interesting with the offense today. Two players in particular. Cavante Turpin, who I've been begging for going on 3 years. Besides these jet sweeps and these reverses, I understand he's a dangerous kick returner / punt returner. I get all that. I really do. But damn, Mike McCarthy, can you get him some offensive plays? Because every time when he steps on the field and he does a route and Dak throws it to him, somehow good things happen. People tend to forget in the now combined UFL, but really it was the USFL with the New Jersey Generals. He was the MVP. He did lead the league in receptions, yards, and touchdown catches, if I recall correctly. He was either the MVP of the league or at least offensive MVP, one of the two. And every time Dak throws him the ball, well, like I said, good things happen. Touchdown, first downs, explosive play. Now, there's another weapon that I think Mike McCarthy needs to expand upon. Hunter Lupree, the Dallas Cowboy fullback. 2 catches for 41 yards. He bailed Dak out of 2 situations, and my man was booking. Now, if I recall, he was a tight end in training camp, so they moved him to fullback. Damn that. You notice San Francisco back in the day, even now, they use their fullback to catch the ball. There's a lot of teams, and this is what I'm getting at. If people really pay attention to football and everybody's bitching about how there's no touchdown pass, I want to say it was by before the today started, it was like 69 touchdown passes and like, which is drastically down. And Mel Kiper bitching because there's 2 safeties and cover 2 or whatever. That's because defenses are not going to let you get. They're not going to let you just go bombs away on them. They're not. And the running game, and I'm be honest, offensive line play, and what's more important right now, the quarterback play in the NFL is at a really a low. And also, when you think about it, when you're paying quarterbacks 250 some odd mil, some parts of the offense is gonna let's just be frank. Some things gonna suffer. Offensive line, sometimes the receiving core, sometimes the defensive line, sometimes linebackers. Something's going to be off. So Mel Kiper, shut the fuck up, and all the rest of these so-called pundits, just be quiet. The offenses will catch up eventually, but use the weapons. San Francisco uses all the weapons. The Rams use all the weapons. Baltimore, to a certain degree, timely using of the weapons. Detroit uses everybody. You see what I'm getting at, Mike McCarthy? When you look at this film, Turpin needs to be on the field more in a receiving style of mode. Lord knows I want to see more of you know what I mean, of Hunter. Because the more weapons you can, and his thing, Dak did not just stare down the barrel of everybody. If he was open, he's throwing it. He's patting the ball. He's patting the ball when he did have time, when Guyton didn't get beat, or the offensive line didn't commit a holding, or the center didn't get beat. I mean, He's patting, he's looking. Baltimore plays a zone. Can we do some crossing routes? Everything can't be a 15 in or 15 out or seam route. You're playing Baltimore's hands. There was two times where they could have been picked. One, Brandon Cooks did a blatant offensive pass interference to stop a penalty, but it would have been Baltimore's ball anyway. Another thing, when it comes to the game plan, and this going to show, and Dallas misses Deron Bland so much right now on defense. The rookie is cool. Don't get me wrong. He's cool. I'm not even going to get mad at him. You know what I'm saying? Number 21. I'm not going to get mad at him. But you can tell Deron Bland is missed big time. Because when teams are throwing the ball or need a play, they're going technically after the rookie and Jordan Lewis. By the way, Jordan, how you lose your job to a rook, bro? I'm just saying. Technically, you lost it to Deron Bland first, and you're supposed to step up now that Deron is going to be gone at least for the next, month now? Come on, man. I need you to step up, bro. And again, where is DeMarcus Lawrence? Let me show you, people. Total tackles. Technically at 5. But he only had 2 solo. Trayvon Diggs was third in tackling, the cornerback. 6 total, 5 solo. Carson, our rookie, 7 solo, 6. Eric Kendricks had 12 solo, 5. Other than that, Micah Parsons had 5 total, 4. And he had 1 QB hit. Now you notice when I look at the film, you're gonna see Michael running everywhere. Where are you, DeMarcus? Can anybody on the defensive line just hold their gap? Just do your job. And can y'all please stop falling for screens? Baltimore ran 2 screens in a row and you bit on both of them. Can you stop? I noticed that again for the past 3 years. Dallas cannot run a screenplay, but Dallas can get a screenplay ran on them for some damn reason. Another thing. So far, except for the first game, really no turnovers per se. Now, Brandon Aubrey's a fucking weapon. He set, I think it was a franchise record today of 65 yards. It could have been good from 68. I'm being honest. If the push come to shove, and I want to say it was against Cleveland, there was a point that Mike McCarthy wanted to try a 70-yard field goal with him. Fuck it. And Justin Tucker missed a field goal. That's weird. The kick for Baltimore, who might be in the Hall of Fame one day, if the Hall of Fame will ever just give respect for field goal kickers, but overall, I'm disappointed at the loss. I'm encouraged that the offense figures some things out, but Baltimore was also playing soft. And the one thing I think Mike McCarthy needs to do more of, like I said, get Turpin involved more. Let Dak go 2-minute offense more. It seems like Dak gets in a rhythm very quickly with that. Very quickly. Now let me transition on something else. My eyes itching like crazy. Um, University of Colorado defeated Baylor yesterday in overtime. It was an exciting game. I actually stayed up and watched the game. Um, it was very exciting. And Deion Sanders is now 3-1. Um, but here's something that I've noticed with, again, sports mainstream media. Stop hating on Deion. I've noticed this since he got to Colorado. I have never seen. Well, let me correct myself. I have seen it, but a bigger thing for a person to fail than what they're trying to do to prime time. I've seen low key on ESPN and FS1 they doing subtle shots at Dion. Now, mind you, Colorado has not been relevant since really Cordell Stewart. I mean, they've had some gems, but not to this magnitude of all eyes on Colorado. The Colorado Buffaloes are must-see TV. Shedeur Sanders will be a first-round pick. Might be top 10. Travis Hunter. Damn it, if you got two eyes, he's the best player in college football. It's not a discussion with me. If he has a winning record, if the Buffs have a winning record, I don't care. Give that young man the Heisman, especially if he keeps doing what he's doing. Touchdown passes, touchdown completions, and he's basically a shutdown corner and made the play of the game where he made the running back fumble out of bounds to preserve the win. But again, the mainstream sports media hate for Deion is showing. Why? Because he's and here's the thing, and I might get racial on this one, but this is just how I see it as a black man. Whenever a black man is confident, bold, or brash, you consider it arrogant. But if it's a white dude, you see him is passion. Deion is who he is. He does not cater to everybody. He's not going to. He's been this way since Florida State. He's been this way since he was in the NFL. He's been this way since he was coaching Jackson State. Why is it a problem now? You want him to fail. You laughed and was just yucking that up when last season happened, and I believe they only won 4 games. Colorado 2 years ago only won 1 fucking game. He quadrupled it last year. Heck, he's 1 game away from matching what he did last season, if I recall correctly. He beat a team in Baylor who's generally pretty damn good. He's a God-fearing man. So what's the problem? Maybe because he says what he says, mean what he means, and is unapologetic about it. His sons are unapologetically themselves. His son Shador makes 5.1 million, I think, in NIL money. I think the highest in the country. Y'all hate that. See, the thing is also I believe is that because you see these kids also making money off things that the universities were making off them too before NIL. Because the kids in Colorado, the football team, they have a social media presence. Hmm. You know, I do believe if it wasn't for Dion with the HBCUs, they wouldn't be on TV as much. Have you noticed over the past year and a half that if you go to certain stations, HBCUs are actually on network TV a lot more? Have you wondered why? It's because of Dion. Have you noticed again the hate, the low key hate? And I'm starting to. I usually mess with Paul Feinbaum. I usually do, but I'm seeing a pattern of hate all of a sudden. And I know he's a big SEC dude. I keep saying it. Once the biggest thing Dion's going to is going to happen is when next year when Shador and Shiloh is not there. And Travis damn well ain't gonna be there because he's gonna be top 5 pick. He might be the number 1 pick for real, for real. It's gonna be very interesting. That's when the recruiting comes in. That's when the fat dudes really come into play. Once again, Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Can you get some fat dudes in the defense line? But stay with me, roll with me on this one. The hate that Dion is getting low key and some straight up blatant, it's uncalled for. Talking about they trying to say if another job comes up, he might leave. Why? If Florida State job comes up again, he's not going to leave Colorado for Florida State. He's not going to do that. He's not. Why do that when, truthfully, with the next 3 to 4 years, if he continues on this trajectory, he's going to have them in playoff contention. Remember, the Big 12 is different now. There is no Texas or Oklahoma in there now. So the Big 12 is looking for a big dog. Why can't it be Colorado? See, that's the thing I never understood with coaches. I'm not going to leave a situation where I'm pretty much the king of to go to another situation that I know if I'm not succeeding in like 2, 3 years, I'm getting fired. That never made sense to me. That never made sense. But as for Dion, let this play out. I think the Buffs have a great chance of having a winning record. I think they'll be 7-5. You know what I mean? I think they will be 7-5. And if they're 7-5, the trajectory at that point goes up more. So stop the hate. And speaking of hate, let me switch some things over to politics. Let me before I get into Donald Trump and others. My Asian brothers and sisters, are y'all cool? Because white supremacy use you all, as you can see now, to get rid of affirmative actions in schools, particularly the Ivy League schools. Um, it's something that black people warned you all about, but you didn't want to listen. Now, this is an article that I wanted to get into. I'm just going to read a few paragraphs of it. This article was by Kimmy Yam and Alexandria Chavez for NBC News. It was done on September 12th. In the first college admissions process since the Supreme Court struck down affirmative actions last year, Asian American enrollments at the most prestigious U.S. schools paints a mixed and uneven picture. Some Ivy League schools, including Columbia and Brown University, showed an increase in Asian Americans for the class of 2028, while others, like Yale and Princeton, showed a decrease. Harvard, the most selective group, didn't see a change at all, according to the enrollment numbers released on Wednesday by the school. Huh, you don't say. You were used. It's not, and let me give for more context. Next paragraph. Experts said that it may take years to see the definitive impact of the decision, which restricted the consideration of race in college admissions, but it didn't have any effect that many who opposed the policy had expected. Hmm. The big takeaways is that folks who supported the lawsuit were saying this would be a big win for Asian Americans, that race-based admissions was some type of barrier to our upward mobility, said Oh Yan Poon, faculty affiliate of the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign Office of Community College Research and Leadership. We were seeing that that's not really bearing out, Poon added. Columbia University, which unlike other Ivies, groups Pacific Islanders with Asian Americans, saw an increase of 9 percentage points in its enrollment of Asian American applicants, while Brown saw an increase in 4 percentage points. At Yale, the racial group dropped by 6 points, and at Princeton, it decreased by 2.2 percentage points. It also decreased at Dartmouth by 1.5 percentage points. Asian Americans remain 37% of Harvard's freshman class. Remained. I'm going to say it again. Remained 37% of Harvard's freshman class. It didn't do shit. Because you forgot legacy enrollments. You were used, my Asian brothers and sisters. Sorry. See, this is the problem that I see, and black people tell you all. I think, no, I know we are stronger together than when we're apart. You should have attacked legacy enrollments. Pretty much the black student enrollment dipped in some, stayed straight in others, and increased in others. It really didn't hurt anything. You know what I mean? Latinos, same thing. It dipped a little bit, but increased in others. But what you were trying to get, my Asian brothers and sisters, it didn't work. It's not going to work. I expected, they're being nice in this article. I expected actually to go down. Some of you are going to have to go to community college. Some of you are going to have to go to the regular public university. I'm just being honest. Straight up honest. And it's cool though, because that might be the best thing at times. Sometimes, just sometimes, going to an Ivy League school, and I'm trying to get this stuff out of my chair because it's irking me. Sometimes it's cool because then you know how the real world works. I'm just being real. And being real is another transition I'm about to do. to doo Don. Donald Trump. MAGA, yo dude is nuts. You can follow me on TikTok at Hey Yo D Sheldon on TikTok. That's primarily where I am. You can get all the videos and all the stuff that I post. But there's something that just irks me when it comes to MAGA. Y'all don't have critical thinking skills at all to me. The man said in the debate, he has concepts of a plan. You have been waiting for this healthcare plan from Donald Trump for going on a decade. You keep saying about this migrant crisis where it's actually gone down. And also, he killed the most conservative border bill. I'm going to scream it to the top of my lungs in 30 years. He killed it because he did not want the Biden administration to get a political win. What the fuck is he really running on? Besides your blatant misogyny, homophobia, xenophobia, racist rhetoric, because he's been throwing racist rhetoric. Let me reiterate this. The Haitian community delicacy is not cats and dogs. If you think that, you're ignorant. Now, once again, the Haitian community in Springfield, Ohio are there legally. They're not illegal immigrants at all. Donald Trump wants to go there. The mayor said, please don't come down here. Because he knows it's going to be some bullshit. The governor of Ohio said, please stop saying this stuff. Because you're causing a problem. But J.D. Vance and Donald Trump wants to do what they want to do. And keep on poking that bear. It's crazy to me. I've seen something, and I want to say the young man's name is Dean Withers on TikTok, where he's a liberal, but he has I'm not even gonna say the stick. He has a program. I want to say it's on Jubilee. That is him versus 20 other conservatives in a debate. And the one thing I've really realized with conservatives, you all do not have any critical thinking skills whatsoever. He said openly, there was one guy that said about the racist stuff, that Donald Trump. He said he's named something he hasn't done in 5 to 10 years that's been racist. We can pinpoint a lot of stuff. But the birther thing, and there was already someone that spoke on the birther situation with Barack Obama. He said, besides that, he said straight up, Kamala Harris, he's saying that he didn't know she was black. She just appeared black. That's racist connotations. That's a lot of y'all saying that's not racist. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The eating of the cats and dogs thing, that's racist. And once again, Springfield, Ohio is still getting bomb threats, by the way. Just so you know. Again, what was it? Donald Trump has nothing. When you really listen to Donald Trump's rallies, he really doesn't have anything tangible to say. It's a bunch of gripes. He doesn't have anything tangible to say at all. Nothing. Does he actually have any plans for you all to make your life better? When someone asked me a couple of days ago, was your life better 4 years ago, Del Rico? And I answered, hell yeah. First off, I can go outside. By the way, again, every short memory, Donald Trump fucked that up. You know what I mean? When I go outside my home, I don't see shopping malls, as he says, burned into the ground. I don't see mass crime. Violent crime's gone down. I don't see a world of despair in the United States. I see people going to work, trying to mind their business to provide for their families. That's what I see. That's what most Americans with common sense actually sees. That's why I say common sense. I can't wait till November 5th so we can vote this dude away. 81, Kamala Harris said it best. 81 million Americans fired Donald Trump. His base is not growing. And people getting tired of the stick. And something else I'm tired of before I get up out of here. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee. The lying, weird-faced woman. Remember, she was Donald Trump's press secretary doing all the lies that she could muster. Her daddy was governor of Arkansas too. So in a sense, that's DEI, if you want me to get real. That's a legacy hire. She said something that at first it was cool. You know, when you're the governor and you think you're a big deal and you go home to your kids and you realize with your kids, you are not a big deal. And then, it humbles you. And I'm paraphrasing what she said. Said the one thing that Kamala Harris isn't humble because she has no kids, biological kids of her own. What is with you conservatives and Republicans with women not having children? Some of them can't, some don't want kids. How about that? Kamala Harris's children were the state of California when she was the DA of San Francisco and then the Attorney General of California, the most populated state in the union. So she chose the American people and her career over having children. I'm sure she probably wanted kids, just didn't happen. You know why it probably didn't happen? Because she probably didn't meet the right man at that point. Well, she got married to her husband, who was it's weird saying it, the second man, the second gentleman, excuse me, of the United States. And she's been a great stepmother, as a lot of us men and women are. What's the problem? What is with y'all and women and not having children? It's once again, here comes the word, weird. And her stepkids, their biological mother said she's excellent with them. They call her Mamala. So that's love. So anybody needs to be humble, Sarah, is you. What's with y'all and women without children? What's with y'all with controlling a woman's body? A gun has more importance than a woman. That's that's pretty much what you're saying. Because, kids have to do, and I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to do you know, a drill for an active shooter in school. I didn't have to worry about that at all. Our kids do. So, Governor Huckabee, shut the fuck up. It's amazing to me how when you all open your mouths, the low intelligence comes out so much. The hate comes out your mouth so much. I saw something on TikTok and I can't remember the creator's name. I want to say Lord Timothy or something of that nature. And it shows the mindset, besides the Dean Withers 20v1, you know, it shows the mindset of conservatives. You all feel like you're entitled to anything. Where there was a guy that was driving down with his luxury truck, and the guy and his wife said they've been working all this da 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 da, and this immigrant somehow has more than they do. First off, it's called life choices. Second, you don't know what that immigrant came with at all. So it shows your entitlement of you need to be on top instead of you busting your ass. There was another one I saw on TikTok where the guy says, why when kids go to college they become liberal? Because they're not in a fucking bubble, Jethro. They meet other people, other students, faculty. It's not Jim Bob and them. And I don't want to be insulting to anybody by the name of Jim Bob or as I refer to them. But get out your bubble. Kids, what happens when kids go to college? They meet other kids that's from different backgrounds. And when they realize that they have a lot in common, generally they become liberal because guess what? They're friends with everybody, not in a little bubble. Have you noticed also when kids go to college and they have a shot to get out that little town, they generally do? You know why? Because they realize that all you folks down there are all the same. There's no growth. So Donald Trump can lie. Sarah Huckabee can lie and say this dumb shit. And you all eat it up. Yeah. No, it's not the real world. You would like it to be, but it's not. So Sarah Huckabee, just like I told JD Vance last week, fuck you. The great state of Arkansas and its people deserve a lot better than you. Because there was a picture going around whereas I don't know what the bill was that you signed for Arkansas, but we had those kids around you and them kids looked like it was just straight disdain. But when the Tim Walz passed the bill in the state of Minnesota as him being governor for kids to eat, simply to eat from K through 12, those kids were around him happy. This is what y'all doing? Conservatives, you really don't want kids to eat? You do realize from the ages of when they're born to the age of 5, they learn more probably than any other time. And a child's development actually helps when they have a full belly. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a father, grandfather, uncle, God's father. I'm just saying. And I've seen kids and help coach kids whenever I get a chance. Y'all full of shit. Y'all really are. And it's a shame. So once again, my TikTok handle is Hey Yo D Sheldon. Look me up. I'll have a lot of crazy content there. I'm about to get up out of here. Before I forget, there will be a mini podcast come tomorrow. That's probably gonna be out Tuesday. You know why? Because I gotta cover the Commanders. That sucky ass name. Oh, by the way, those that are listening to this, that are my crew, and y'all Washington Commanders fans, stop texting my phone because we lost. This is why we don't vibe. You all consume with Dallas is cool. But once again, to recap everything, the media, mainstream sports media, low key hating on Deion Sanders. They need to stop that. My Dallas Cowboys lost 28-25 to the Baltimore Ravens and allowed 274 yards rushing. If you think that Prescott was to blame for this, wrong. He wasn't wrong he wasn't to blame last week either. Just like he wasn't to blame for the Green Bay playoff game. Do you see a pattern? And once again, Donald Trump's crazy. And Sarah Huckabee can kiss all our ass, especially the women that don't have kids. Humble. Humble. You need to be humble. But anywho, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna see y'all in a couple days. And as I always say, once again, thank you to Rose Sweets LLC. That's Rose Sweets LLC, the best cake pops and cupcakes in the DMV area, small based business out of Southern Maryland. You can reach them on Facebook and Instagram at row_sweets_LLC and directly at rosesweetsllc@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for Riverside.fm for providing the platform so I can get to the people in Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio. Please like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D. Shelton. The subscribers are growing, and I'm fairly surprised how fast it is growing. So all those that listen to me, thank you. Thank you very much. And as I always say to close our shows, may Father and the ancestors take care of you, your loved ones, and anybody else you care about. I see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.